Prinxess.Maddie. Today I'm doing a Bible study video as you saw in the title, so let's dive into it. So today's Bible study is a story that happens in Genesis 22 about Abraham and his son Isaac and how Abraham kind of forgets that God is God and he provides. And it's just a lesson to us Christians that instead of being such in a rush or in a hurry, like just be calm and just know God will provide. So now let's dive into it. So in verse 7 especially, Isaac notices that something is missing. They don't have something for the burnt offering. And Abraham even says in verse 8, "My son, God will provide for himself the lamb for a burnt offering." But what happens next is just so shocking. And if you were a parent, no parent, if they were a real parent, would ever sacrifice their children. Let's keep reading, shall we? Now this is what I was talking about. We go in verse 9, and Abraham built an altar there, placed the wood in order, and he bound Isaac, his own son, and laid him on the altar upon the wood. And in verse 10, and Abraham stretched out his hand and took the knife to slay his son. But it didn't stop there, thank the Lord. The angel of the Lord called from heaven and said, "Abraham, Abraham." So he said, "Here I am." And he said, "Do not lay your hand on the lad or do anything to him. For now I know that you fear God, since you have not withheld your son, your only son, from me." Now, Abraham, why would you do that? Why would he do that? Because earlier in verse 7 and 8, Abraham told his son, God will provide. So at this point, Abraham is just freaking out. He's not being calm, and he loses his faith. So now let's see what happens next. Now in verse 13, we see how God provided if Abraham just waited patiently. So Abraham lifted his eyes, and there behind him was a ram caught in a thicket by its horns. And Abraham went and took the ram and offered it for a burnt offering instead of his son. And Abraham called the name of the place, "The Lord will provide," as it is said to this day, "In the mount of the Lord it shall be provided." And in verse 8, Abraham said, God will provide. But he almost took out his own son. That angel had good timing, just like God's time will always be correct. So, what are the key points from this? And what did we learn from this? So I have 4 key points for today's lesson that God will provide 24/7. First of all, we need to learn to trust God will provide. Be willing to accept what God provides. Don't be ungrateful. We serve a God that provides. Come on now. Come on now. And if you ever need backup, go to that story. And lastly, stay faithful to God, who stays faithful to us. Amen. So that's it for the video today. I hope you all got the concept that God provides 24/7. And also don't forget to like, share, comment, turn on post notifications, subscribe if you haven't, and have a blessed day, my loves. Bye bye.